So let's do this a little bit earlier because I'm having quite a little bit of a. It would be an exaggeration saying that I'm having a very busy evening. But I do, in a sense, I do have a busy day with writing this paper. That is my focus now. But that is not the main point of this video. The main point here is basically just get the chance to, I guess, to reflect a little bit on contemporary issues. All right, I'm not gonna make this into sounding like some big analyzing kind of criticizing or whatever, it's more of just talking how it is going now. And where can I actually start? It's funny how I sometimes feeling very inspired to make a video of something in particular, and then I just completely lost the motivation for it. But anyway, just quick. Everybody's busy, everybody's stressed. I'm and sometimes it's just like, oh, do you really have to do all your things? Do you really have to do them? No, you can lay down and just don't do anything, but obviously that is not an option. You gotta do your things. That's how it is. And but I do look very tired, and I can say that I have been sleeping very bad because I've had some kind of a health. Yeah, there's something going on with like a muscle inflammation or something on the side of my left chest back. It's weird, but whatever. I Many times I've been thinking about if I should stop this channel completely. I even thought about should I um should I even, what do you say, delete it, eliminate this channel? But no, that why I shouldn't do that. That would be too much. But I should. I really considering changing name of the channel. I don't want to. I don't want it to be associated completely with the INFP community. Although I may be a personality type INFP, that doesn't matter. This channel is too. There's no niche or nothing like it. It's just what it is. These times now, it's freaking funny and weird. It's so uncertain. Everything is so uncertain. Everything from uh, yeah, the war industry in particular. Like seriously, what's going on? When you think about it, are we really moving towards? I think even the Swedish, what is his position? He's some kind of position in the defense or military. Even said we are in the third world war. We're in the third world war now. It's just unevenly proportionated or something like that, he mentioned. What I guess, I mean, how can I interpret that? Should it be more or what? Um, I mean, I guess we just miss a huge conflict between the great powers, which there already is. But I mean, like a full NATO Eastern coalition, I guess. That is basically what it's what needs to happen to be considered major a major World War III, at least in my book, but that could definitely be argued for already being one. When we look at what happens in the Middle East, look at what happens in East Asia, Far East, the tensions, I mean, and also considering what happens in obviously in Eastern Europe. I mean, I sometimes I have difficult to express myself. When I'm not prepared, I have sometimes so much thoughts in my head. I feel like I know exactly what I'm gonna talk about. But then it's easier obviously to have somebody to talk with, because that I noticed that I went to a meeting yesterday, and it's so different to talk with somebody because it unlocks topics and ideas rather than just sit and pick your own head. But anyway, what I was thinking is, I wonder really, like, imagine in 10 years will be 2034. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And already now we are already into, yeah, one quarter is basically soon past of this year. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that I read, you need to be very, very wary of what you're reading. If I've read so many things about the upcoming election in the US. What is that going to do to the ongoing conflicts now? For example, if there is a change in the party of or in power in the US, is it going to be stop funding for the ongoing conflict and war, or is it going to continue? Um, yeah, there is so many things you can say, like pro and con about this war, but it just seems like there's a whole industry that few handful of people making so much money sending people to death, basically. It's really, really, and then, like what I was going to say earlier, the whole thing about the fast, rapid evolution or development, or whatever you would like to call it, of technology. I need to, I have to understand, is it generation Z now, or is it generation Alpha? I think Generation Alpha is the one coming around 2025. I mean, Generation C, anyway, I believe is the first generation which is growing up with technology right in front of their face like this. You see kids growing up and they're sitting in the baby cars or whatever, trolleys, the parents is pushing them, and they have these pads, phones, right in front of their faces. And I know it's not like all the time, probably, but I didn't have that. I was on the outside, and I was also later on the inside of this. So I know what it's like before, before cell phones, before mobiles, before smartphones. It obviously does a lot of things to us. And this is, I can mention briefly also that this is a huge interest for me, not just in terms of technology in itself, but in relation to humanity and its involvement of human mankind. I find it very fascinating what it actually does to us as a social and cultural phenomena. Phenomena. What actually are the challenges that will arise with this? And I am writing about this currently, actually, because I feel like this is something that I would like to continue to investigate. So far, a lot of some of my works and some coming courses actually is really about this. digitalization and ethnic or ethnography, those topics I find, or that topic I find very, very important actually. If you think about it, it's important to understand where are we heading with this, because it goes really damn fast. It happens so fast, the evolvement, the technological advancement, how incredibly good it is. I'm talking about these chat AIs and image generation AI, and you give an input, it transcends or transforms, creates, and you have the output of content, basically, what it is. Everything is going so fast. And apply this to generative AI. I mean, daily daily chores, daily tasks that a human being is doing, but now it will be that AI does it. And you connect it with robotics, which will have a humanoid surface or appearance. It does a lot of stuff to us. And I think this is something that is very fascinating to understand. But it's a very creepy, a damn creepy time we're living. So that topic maybe brings me to what is meaningful. What do you want to work with? What do you want to do for a career? Or what actually would you want to do in terms of finding meaning? Because when you think about it, how I think, like many people say, it will become very difficult for many people, for a large number of people. And I'm not only speaking about because of the evolvement or digital evolution, if you wish. I'm talking also, if we have actually people who are really evil in power, they are just career politicians, if you know what I mean. People that just get into politics for, but that's obvious, they go in for making a lot of money. It's the only aspiration. I feel like there are no genuine politicians that actually wish to be a part in changing society, or like make people collaborate or unite people, if I say that. And the whole polarization, like being a far right or a far left, and I feel like I'm dropping out of this completely. I just believe in common sense. um, Obviously we have ideas which is absolutely absurd, and you have things that people would like to label. I mean, speaking about the immigration question, or speaking about taxation, and sometimes you having an opinion, and to somebody that is just absolutely, it's absolutely radical for them. I mean, I put myself in a context, just to give an example. For imagine I go to Portugal again. I move back, and I just start to become a criminal. Obviously, I should be prosecuted or put in front of justice there. But I should also, if I like had no passport, I have nothing, I should be sent away from there if I came with intention of doing harm. For me, that is a very common sense. Just like the idea about tax. I mean, where do I actually stand when it gets to taxes? A part of me is like, I would like to pay as little tax as I want, but I would also like to see that I think a fundamental right for everybody is to have the right for health care. And that requires people in a specific territory or specific geographical region to contribute, for people to work for a hospital or an institution of health in this particular region, to fund it. It's required that people put into for it. But then there's the whole thing about, also I know that during the last pandemic, they have there are sources saying that the billionaires in the world increase their wealth like I don't know how many percent. That just makes me question. So many people struggle and lost their homes, their businesses, they died and whatnot, and still just states, government just sucks out every little bit that they can from hardworking people. I mean, look how difficult it is now, to be honest. The food prices and just rent a place, very, very expensive. So why, in retrospect, or based on that rather, why don't we see more taxation for the people that are actually making so much wealth? I mean, together these people could pay, with certainty they could pay for all other people. But I understand that every human being working, uh, there becomes a lot of taxation incomes for the state. But I mean, I'm very, very mixed or split in this sense. I think probably the just working people could be taxed way less. But yeah, you can call it a system being rigged for lobbyism, together with people that are actually in powers and people behind the scenes, because that's actually what lobbyism is. People behind the scenes is buying their wealth to be taxed less, for instance. But there are many kinds of lobbyism, obviously. That is like a few things that I've been thinking of. So I'm like, I'm kind of dropping out of this thing with ideology, or I just have my firm points, and I kind of trying to have a common sense, and trying to just do actually what I believe is right for me, and that is creating, I have I have some interesting things to me, probably not to anybody else, maybe to a few people around me that knows me. But yeah, I don't know if I should say too much about that, but I am recording. Finally, I've started to learn to record, and it's so much fun. So I'm doing a lot of these kind of expressive parts of myself that I feel is giving me meaning, and basically a bit what I live for, to be honest. It's um, when I think about it, like it's my aspiration right now for getting like a top position in the business world or corporation world or whatever, and just make as much money as possible. I don't think so. I I want to make money? Yeah, like most people want to. And I will. There's no doubt about that. Definitely I will. It's money is like an energy when you think about it. It's something that comes and goes, but have a healthy relation to it. But I find it very sad for people who are driven by making money. It's nothing wrong with, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with wanting to and to make money. I don't find there any wrong about that at all. It's nice. It feels great to make right for you. You're doing something of yourself and you get rewarded for it, and you can sustain and buy things you wish and whatever, you know. But I find it sad if that is like that if that's what gives you meaning, is to make money, because there's like this weird competition in this world based on greed, that you are gonna want to make more, but there always, no matter what, always going to be somebody who is making more than you. It's like it's a game lost, you know. But sure, there's nothing wrong with making money. I mean, make money for yourself, to be able to do something you wish, or invest, or whatever that makes you happy, you know. I like that too, and I will do that more eventually, definitely. I am so certain of it. I am so convinced about my, what should I say, I am so convinced of my qualifications and my, just me as a person, of wanting to make a difference, in small or in large, it doesn't matter. But back to having a creative outlet, that's what making me feel rich in a way. That is what giving me fulfillment. And was something else I was gonna mention about that, but I guess that was basically it. Like life should really be an experience and journey, and I feel like I have a good plan, a good idea, although I may not be so good at expressing it. But with the help of my own projects, my own creative aspirations, I feel almost as I am bit by bit defining myself and creating like the person who I wish to be, and I'm making myself better understood by doing these things. But also should not be ignored that it can be also very, very tiring, or like energy wise, absolutely positive. But there's one aspect that actually creative expression can also drain you in a way. But that is all good. That's so worth it. Absolutely worth it. Mm. So yeah, I just need to get a little bit more of some equipment eventually. And whenever I got something ready, I don't know, maybe I should share it here, or maybe I will end up actually um, remove this channel, but probably not. But I think I should probably change the channel name, and I don't know what, because now I feel it's just too limited about this INFP, and I talk about a lot of other stuff. And talk a lot of other stuff is also like, obviously my channel is not in any way, what should I say, is not anywhere near to see any kind of growth in terms of views, or what is it called, even subscribers, obviously followers, and all good, that's all fine. I don't do it for that. I don't do it for, I do it for myself first and foremost, but I do it also for you, whoever you are, that just enjoy listening to what I have to say. I have a few channels, obviously way more successful in terms of views and subscribers, you know. I follow similar people that is talking like a lot of different subjects in, maybe it's a podcast or something. Some people have a clear niche, and that would be nice to have a niche. But I am more focused, like I said, I am in a point in my life. Would I like to start a new channel with like a very niche, like imagine starting, like I did have that, that was a little bit of I wouldn't say it was a niche, but it was something that I was truly inspired by when I started my channel, or when I started to make videos. I was definitely inspired by making like a bit motivational self growth kind of videos. I'm still interested in these things, but I don't think that I could probably be if I invested myself to do that. But I don't feel like I am there to be that person just speaking, making specific videos about self motivational or anything else actually. I just like to express myself through, like, through music basically, or writing, or any other kind of plan projects I'm having doing, that is more, I think that is more, or what should I say, not artistic. Obviously it is artistic if you like that, but it's more authentic, or more real to me. But for some people, making a very niche channel with the intention of making money and getting, like, getting a lot of followers is the goal for them, because otherwise they wouldn't do it. And obviously I'm not doing this channel in any way near any shape or form to make money, nor getting followers. I mean, do you see any any like intent of that? I doubt it, because I don't. It's clear when the people doing that is. But although I should say, there will probably come a point when I would like to be better at sharing, yeah, my projects, and also having like a site where I could actually sell, um, maybe copies, or even having collaborators who are producing cool kind of products that I like, that I use myself, that I could have as, and become, or create my own brand basically, and sell. I don't know, like, imagine some kind of clothes, or some kind of jewelry, or uh, some kind of product that I feel that I would like to have myself. That is something that would be interesting. I always found it interesting to have my own business. That would be very, very nice. But not just any business, not just start to, "Oh, I'm gonna start my own shop for selling toys for kids, or for making, selling socks, or only t-shirts, or start selling shoes." I just find it so extremely difficult to begin with, but there's also a um, huge market for these products already. I mean, think about it yourself. Okay, I'm suddenly gonna start selling shoes. Okay, do I need to develop a new shoe, or am I gonna be like a reseller of shoes? It just seems so pointless. It seems absolutely pointless to me. But I guess it is not, because there are people making money from having a shoe shop. But to me, that is just so random. It needs to be something about a brand which has some kind of philosophy behind the brand that I am very inspired by. I think, I was one, now when I'm speaking about it, there's one brand that I read about recently. Is I have some clothes from this brand, RVCA. The way that they market their brand, it felt like it was something that I could actually have, um, written myself. This thing about having a balanced life with the artistic approach for people who are seekers, or something like this. I don't remember the exact. Maybe I should check it out actually. It could be interesting. It's like a surf skateboard brand. Let's check it out actually. And it's not so old if you think about it, and they are doing so good still. It's like 20 years, 25 years old. I mean, that's kind of old, but it's like still from, it's not like it was before I was born. Okay, let's see here what they write. There must be something about, maybe here in the bottom. I know it was this brand that I read about before. Um, just hang on a little bit. But why don't they have anything? It's kind of weird actually. Yeah, I mean, it's not really. I, it's like this is this is when I look at careers, which is not really. But I guess it's related. It sounds kind of nice. You know, it's they write liberated brands think differently and has a global scale serving up to 60 plus countries. La la la. 3 decades of experience. We know what a full service license model can look like. Um, we focus on the fundamentals of designing, producing, distributing. I mean, this is not the correct thing. I think I found it here actually. Transcending the boundaries of traditional action sports apparel, RVCA is a design driven lifestyle brand that finds common ground between sport, creativity, and style. We see connections that often others don't and thrive in the balance of opposites. I think that description is obviously a copywriting expert about their brand, but I find it what the point is would be nice to have like your own brand that has some kind of philosophy like this behind it that drives it, you know, because that is obviously very important for a brand. A brand cannot just be empty. I see that they have other stuff here also. Quicksilver, we believe board riding is a universal source of fun, freedom, and natural energy, so powerful it transforms lives. Since our first board shorts in '69, we have infused art with performance. Today, Quicksilver is an industry leader in wetsuits out. This stuff we know what Quicksilver is, most of us do. But there we see it again. There is this drive behind it. Volcom, inspired by creative spirit. Volcom was founded by the clothing company rooted in skateboarding, surfing, and snowboarding. Building upon the foundation of sport culture, Volcom is also supports initiatives in music and the arts and lives by the mantra "True to this" as a rallying cry for persistent rebels and creatives that follow their passions. Volcom creates meaningful products for men's, women's, and kids across a variety of categories, including outdoor, swim, skate, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there we have it again. I think perfect, very cool. Um, and then it's not. I mean, the brand itself in itself is obviously unique, but the description is not unique when you think about it. There are many brands that those two that I read like they sound completely similar. But anyway, now we're talking something different. Now we're talking a little bit about me, which I guess I do a lot of times. But this stream was basically about, yeah, challenges in our contemporary world right now. It's we just gotta hang in here, you know. It's not gonna be easier, that's for sure. It's everything is going to just, I can say that, and I don't remember the details, so bear with me. But there was this video I saw compared to like the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s. Like how obviously you got paid less in terms of a salary, but that time compared to now, there is this uneven increase in how much, or I mean, the everything has increased so much in a staggering percentage that just doesn't match what you earn today. Terms of rent, food, retail, or buying products, or homes, rent, you know, whatever you have it. You say whatever, you know, you can mention anything. It just doesn't match the increase. Although you earn more now, the value of the currency is also dropping. So that's what I mean. You just gotta hang in there. And it's actually very, very depressing. I think we are going to see a way more difficult societal climate in terms of social or mental and financial issues. There's going to be a way increase in, you could call it actually societal anxiety. What I mean with that is like way more spread out general destructive anxiety amongst population, amongst the citizens. Loneliness epidemic, more more girls going to be, because girls are mostly the more active users of social media, and finding it in terms, using it in terms of challenging, um, to be seen. A lot of these young girls on these platforms, they are there to be seen and to be like live a very relaxed, stress-free lifestyle as some kind of a model or whatnot. That is going to just increase, and they are going to be so broken, and a lot of more men is going to be absolutely more lonely, and probably a lot of men is going to just also drop in, you know, or drop out rather. um, so people, for example, in leading positions in tech, and also people who are able to do things with their hands, with their bodies, you know, work wise. I'm talking about like any kind of handcraft or construction, things like that, you know, is going to be very, very useful. But yeah, people in leading positions of tech, in control of these machines, if you wish, they are going to be on very, very fortunate or very well paid off positions, while a vast number of people like in between is going, unfortunately, probably be laid off, and just it's going to be, yeah, I don't even want to imagine what it's going to be like. Thinking about food shortage also, if it becomes more expensive, so it's even difficult for people to buy. so the stores will actually not have so much options and it will be less. I don't know. It can go any way, but not to think catastrophic or anything. But I do see, like, from what I believe here and now today, it can change. Obviously, it will be some kind of a rat race more than it already is. Actually, I don't know. I just feel like I could go on now, and maybe I should, but it's also very, very depressing when you think about it. Just have to basically have to find out what can I do that brings some kind of value or meaning, or not necessarily meaning, but yeah, in the end it's also about meaning, but specifically some kind of value to this fast pace moving, technology driven society and world. Corporations is going to definitely, just think about it. Why are we seeing, and why are we seeing so many times throughout history people are like losing jobs because of technology, and we learn to adapt with it. But if this is going so fast, then I don't know what is the consequence. And that is not to be negative. It's not to be. That's not to be hopeful for the future, but doesn't look that bright, to be honest. Yeah, all those positions that are out there are more and more just. I mean, I guess it always was connection wise, having connection to it. But yeah, whatever. You gotta do what you can do. You can do what you can. You gotta do what you gotta do. The thing with violence and gangs and corruption is also going to stagger increase due to all of this. That is something that is already very, very visible in this place and in this world, I guess. But in specifically or particularly in this society, there is this. I think I could say that there is this kind of vibration of, in lack of a better term, there is this kind of vibration of hostility roaming in the air. And I don't know where we are as a human being, what it could take for us to like awaken or open up and become more lovingful and actually pressure people in power to make change for the people, not only for a few handful people that are actually behind the scenes or for the politicians themselves. No, and I'm not saying that the politicians are gonna just suddenly start to hand out money to make it better for people, or but in some ways yes, but I'm also thinking obviously you gotta have to do something with yourself to become of value. And that is something that I am thinking about all day, every day, all the time. Um, but seriously, I do think it would be a great thing to implement, because I think it could probably be possible to have a universal basic income. But I'm still skeptical about it because I do not want it to become a situation where the government is in authority because of this, and if you don't comply with something they just stop paying you. That cannot be the case. You should still have your right to express yourself within the frame of the law as you wish and have your opinions. But yeah, these are big questions, folks. This is very, very difficult. And yeah, where we're going is up to those of us who maintain and live. I guess we will see. Um, yeah, but I can just wrap up and say it looks like it may, what I was mentioning, it looks like they may actually have to be continuing going down, 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 down before it actually flips over on the bright side. Not necessarily everything is bad. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of good things, but the world does not look that bright right now and where we're going. And I am an optimist. I'm trying every day. I'm trying to be positive, and I am positive. I'm just saying what I take in. And please, you have to remember to not, and I tell this to myself also, to not become too colored or too affected by what your intake is or what your input is, what you hear and what you see. That is something that needs to be checked once in a while, you know. Yeah, but anyway, that was a few thoughts from me, Tom, here. Thank you for checking by. Thank you if you found any kind of value in this. I mean, I don't know if I would consider here a lot of value, but there are some thoughts open for reflection, you know. It's sometimes I need to do this. So here I am and I did. Time to go back to the creation basically. See you everybody and take care.